Guys, vote which ones are your favorite. Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Well, it doesn't matter because I got LASIK. Alright guys, so I want to tell you all about my LASIK experience, but first I want to preface it with some background info. So I've been wearing glasses since 2nd grade. As I got older, I heard about LASIK, but I never thought that I was a good candidate for it because I thought I was too blind and I thought my vision was not stable enough. Somewhere I heard the rumor that like your vision has to be stable for 2 years, whatever that's supposed to mean. My vision has progressively gotten worse since 2nd grade, so I thought I was never a candidate. But recently, I started getting a bunch of random ads like on Facebook for LASIK, and I found an office and they were doing a free consultation. So I thought to myself, what have I got to lose? So yeah, I just booked an appointment and went in for a consult. I'm so glad I went because everything that I whatever. Everything I assumed was proved wrong. So when they checked my vision, it was minus 5.25 at the time. And they told me like, yeah, you're smack dab in the middle of a typical LASIK patient. You're totally qualified, or a good candidate, I guess. The other thing that I assumed that was incorrect was that vision has to be stable. So when I asked them about that, they basically told me between the time you have a consult and the time you have the surgery, your vision has to be stable. Like if it fluctuates like by a whole point, then it's considered unstable and we need to wait for it to stabilize. So my vision getting progressively worse over the years, I guess still falls into the category of stable. So basically after the consult, I realized that I was indeed a good candidate for LASIK. But then I got super anxious about the whole idea of getting LASIK. I mean, they explained to me the process, which I'll talk about in just a second, but they explained to me the process and then they handed me like this little booklet, and in the booklet there's this packet of all the risks, you know, everything that can go wrong, and most of the things led to, you know, you can go blind. And I was like, ugh, I'd rather see how I see now than go completely blind. So I was just like fighting in my head, you know, do I really want to risk losing my vision for this? But I talked about it to my husband and we prayed about it and I decided to just go for it. So back to the whole process. The way they explained it to me, they take your eye, they do each eye individually, and they take your eye and they suction it, and then your vision goes dim for like 30 seconds, and then you see a little green light and you just focus on the light. Oh, sorry, let me rewind. They get your eye numb. Each eye numb first, and then they suction your eyeball, and then, you know, your eyesight goes dim for a little bit. You see this green light, focus on the green light, and then there's a laser, and they say, it might smell like burning hair for a little bit, but that's normal. And I'm like, okay, I think I can handle that. And so the day of the procedure, they went over everything with me again, you know, made sure I followed all the protocols beforehand, you know, no makeup, no whatever, all the things that came in the packet. But then at the end of the surgery prep, I guess you could call it, they asked me if I wanted anti-anxiety meds. I'm not really anxious, I'm okay. I understand what's going on. I'm not nervous about it. I'm committed. And so they're like, okay, sounds good. So I go into the operating room. By the way, they told me that this procedure like would take, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds per eye or whatever for the whole thing. The consult and everything lasted like 3 hours because they just double check your vision to make sure the laser is all calibrated and everything. So it takes a while, but the actual procedure is supposed to be pretty quick. So anyway, they take me to the operating table and lay me back and put some numbing drops in each eye, and then they go in to suction my eye. And it's not like a suction, like they pry open your eyelids and like jam this suction cup thing against your eyeball, like really push hard. I mean, they said there would be pressure, but it felt sharp. I'm telling you guys, ask for extra anesthetic in your eyes if you end up getting LASIK. But anyway, they like pried open my eye and it kept coming off because my natural reaction, I didn't even know I was doing this, but my natural reaction was to like shut my eyelid. So it kept coming off. My eyes ended up being like super bloodshot after. So they suctioned the eye, and then I was like ready for my eyesight to go dim and see the green light or whatever. But instead, I see the doctor approaching with like these sharp instruments like hovering over my eyeball and starts like jabbing at it. I mean, I don't feel a lot of it, although there were some instances where it was kind of getting sharp. But yeah, he was like jabbing at it and doing all this stuff. And I'm like just clenching my teeth. Where are the anti-anxiety meds? I need them now. He did that to one eye. Then he did that to the other eye, you know, the sharp instruments and all that jabbing and poking. And then they sat me up and they're like, okay, now we're gonna go to this chair and do the laser. And I'm sitting there thinking like, then what was that? Like, they did not explain that part of the procedure at all to me. I felt like I was so underprepared. So that's my recommendation to you, is just take whatever they offer because you're gonna need it. So anyway, they sat me onto the second operating table and then my eyesight goes dim and then I see the green light and then the laser does its thing in each eye. And they're like, okay, all done. So I sit up and I'm like, what just happened? You know, super traumatized. And then they like check my eyesight, make sure everything is good, and then give me some goggles. But yeah, they just sent me off home. So my eyes were like super watery for the next half a day, which they told me to expect. And I had to use eye drops. I mean, it's been a couple of months now and I still need to use eye drops because my eyes kind of run on the dry side anyway. But yeah, expect dry eyes, and vision sometimes would get blurry, probably mostly because of the dryness. But yeah, at this point I do see perfectly. If you would have asked me even like 2 or 3 weeks after the procedure if it was worth it, I would honestly tell you like, no, I don't think it was worth it. Now, you know, 2 months later, I feel like, yeah, it's worth it. But I feel also like it's so unfair how they didn't explain everything that was gonna happen. I like to be prepared. Seriously wish I took those anti-anxiety meds. It was crazy. I mean, honestly, like during the consult and before the procedure, I was really excited because I have an older brother who also has worn glasses since a young age. I was really excited to tell him, hey, you should get LASIK with me. But after the procedure, I was like, oh, I don't think I would wish that upon him. But yeah, now I feel like it's worth it. I'm gonna round up my glasses and donate them because I don't need them anymore. Ooh. Okay, see you guys next time.